C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country as we look at some of the most closely contested House races leading up to this November's midterm elections.
The 3rd District is a massive district. It stretches over 13 parishes. It includes 200 miles of road. On the northern end is really the edge of the Cajun heartland. You have a lot of sugarcane interests, the heart of the oil and gas industry. Closer to the bottom is actually the southeastern coastline of Louisiana. So fisheries issues are huge there. I think it's fair to say that the 3rd District has some of the most commercial fishermen in the district compared nationally. And there's also a lot of offshore activity. Candidates who run in the 3rd District usually need about $1.5 million to win. It's a huge district, and you have to buy into 3 different media markets through New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette to really get your message across. So far, the race has really been defined by the Republican side of the contest, the Republican primary, which pits a New Iberia businessman, Jeff Landry, against former State Speaker of the House, Hunt Downer. The most surprising thing to come from both of these men is their attacks on each other regarding their own National Guard records. Jeff Landry has described Hunt Downer as an empty suit, a disgrace to the uniform. Hunt Downer, meanwhile, has questioned Jeff Landry's veteran status in Desert Storm because he served his time over here. Jeff Landry, in return, has called Hunt Downer's time in Iraq ceremonial. It's been a very nasty, vicious race.
I'm Hunt Downer, candidate for Congress, and I approve this ad.
Jeff Landry must be a confused politician. He can't decide if he's pro-life. 3 years ago, Jeff was undecided on exceptions for abortion. This year, he switched to total pro-life. A month later, Jeff claimed he would allow exceptions for abortion. A month later, Jeff has switched again to pro-life. Can we really trust him? Go to jefflandryliedtoyou.com to find out.
How you doing? Jeff Landry. Jerry Terrio. Nice to meet you. Mr. Terrio? Yeah. Votez pour moi? Oh, bien. Pas trop correction. Oh, on parle français un petit peu. Oh, just plein? Oh.
Jeff Landry actually has some deep roots in the 3rd District. Charlie Melançon's original opponent the first 2 times he faced election in the 3rd District was a man named Craig Romero. Jeff Landry ran his campaign. And actually, Jeff Landry is using some of the same people from that campaign to run his bid this time around. He is a small businessman. He served in the sheriff's office locally in his parish. He's former Louisiana National Guard. Last year, he lost a bid for the state senate and came almost directly off of that race to mount the campaign that he's running right now. Extremely conservative. He's picked up the majority of the Tea Party support. He's actually been able a few times to sit back and let the Tea Party kind of hack away at Downer's record for him, so he wouldn't have to directly get involved. But he's not shy to get involved. He's definitely an in-your-face type of candidate.
Revelation 3:16. Because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. The Tea Party has discovered many lukewarm politicians within the Republican Party. We call these imposters rhinos, Republicans in name only. Hunt Downer was a Democrat for 30 years before conveniently switching to the Republican Party. Downer has a deep connection to Kathleen Blanco, serving as her chief lobbyist in 2006. And receiving $5,000 in campaign contributions from her. Stop Hunt Downer from going to Washington. Down with Downer. This ad was paid for by the Tea Party of Louisiana, and we approve the message.
And the real challenge in that runoff is going to be to get the voters out. The primary election, we only had 18% was the average turnout. And that's so disappointing. We have men and women serving our country who are willing to lay down their lives for us to have the right to vote and for citizens to not exercise that. So the challenge is for everyone. Go out and vote, whether it be for me or someone else. Go vote.
Hunt Downer, a lot of people were surprised with Hunt Downer's performance in the first primary. Jeff Landry came within about 160 votes of winning that race outright. But Hunt Downer was able to kind of hold on and push him into a runoff. Hunt Downer had more than 2 decades of experience in the state legislature. He was a Speaker of the House. He can take credit for a lot of technological advances here at the Capitol. He brought all the committee rooms online. You're able to watch them on your computer. He rearranged some of the voting systems in the House. After that, after he left the legislature, he ran for governor and lost that race for governor and really focused his time on the Louisiana National Guard. He became a brigadier general. He served briefly as Secretary of Veteran Affairs. He is after the governor's race and after this, you can't help but think this is probably going to be Hunt Downer's last race. He's seen a lot of political action over his years, and this one certainly has been his nastiest.
We're working hard. I got started now a year. Been at this, kind of grinding it out from the bottom up, and I feel fantastic.
The Democrat Ravi Sangisetty, he's a young guy, he's an Indian American, first generation Indian American in his family. He's been able to kind of sit back and watch everything unfold. He's the only Democrat in the race. He had no opposition in the first primary, and he has about $2.5 million in the bank. The Republican Congressional Committee hasn't taken him lightly. They have lashed out at him, attacked him for his voting record. He didn't really start voting until last year when he announced for Congress. But he's a private attorney, and he is really, while the Republicans have kind of lobbed volleys at each other, he's tried to run an issues-based campaign. Infant mortality rates and Social Security have been two of his top issues so far. This race is going to probably be among the few that are still going to be contested on the November ballot. The Republican primary is in October, and depending on how elections play out, this could very well play a role in whether or not Democrats maintain control of the House and Senate. It also may be interesting to see whether or not how far President Obama is going to be willing to step out. He's already endorsed a candidate in the neighboring 2nd District in New Orleans. He has a longer record than Ravi Sangisetty, but it should be interesting to see if the president is going to be willing to get involved with a political neophyte, so to speak.
C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country, visiting communities and congressional districts as we look at some of the most closely contested House races leading up to this November's midterm elections. For more information on what the local content vehicles are up to this election season, visit our website, cspan.org/LCV.